Okay.
Alrighty. Happy Tuesday, everyone. And welcome to our Top Enroller call. Super pumped that you guys are here. I know there's a lot of people that are going to catch the recording because they're at work right now, but I am so incredibly proud of you because you guys were top enrollers for September. And I just want to shout out Hannah Levi really quick because she was the tippy top enroller in September and she went gold 2 nights ago. So I just want to say that is awesome. Way to go. So proud of everyone, actually. So thank you for showing up, for being consistent, and for being top enrollers. So Jessica is our special guest, and she is a sweet friend of ours. Hang on one sec. And Carrie and my Diamond Upline. So we are so happy to have her on. She's going to share a little bit of her story and share some insights. And you guys submitted questions for her, so she's going to answer those. We might do a little bit of Q&A style too if we get around to it. So Jessica, thank you so much for being on. We are honored to have you on today. Thank you for paving the way and and for leading the charge, because really I'll speak to Carrie too in saying that you have been a huge catalyst for our success. So thank you.
Well, God is all in it. Like, I would never do this without him. I would never have been prompted to do this. I would never be as successful as I am out of all that. You have to pardon me. I have a new computer because I left mine on a plane. And so I've never used Zoom before. And so it like keeps being weird, and it's a Mac and I don't really like Macs. I prefer, anyways. Okay, let's go. We got lots to talk about. Congratulations on earning this call. I've got a couple of themes that I totally want to let you guys ask questions. But one of the things Megan wanted me to talk about is a little bit about my Plexus journey and what I did to get to Diamond so fast. So I went from start to Diamond in 11 months. And there's a couple of contributors I really believe to why that happened that way. But my two biggest things I believe that were the biggest pillars anyways were my belief and the fact that I did not avoid scary things. Okay, you can self-evaluate yourself in this or anybody in your teammate in this. I can almost promise you that a reason that they are stuck or not going as fast as they wished they would be because of their belief is low, belief in themselves, the company, or the products, or the fact that they are avoiding doing scary things. And I'm actually going to give you guys a resource. I just sent it to my assistant this morning. If you were at convention, I know Molly was in my room. So a lot of your team was in my room, and I was doing some training. And I really was teaching them how to do accountability calls for we talked about multiple things, but a couple of quick things on how to do accountability with their teammates and certain questions to ask them to help them get unstuck. And one of the questions was very simply, when I do accountability, I'll just tell you the quick things real quick, but I'll show you this resource. I'm going to have her make a worksheet so you guys can copy and paste and use it if you would wish. But really, these are the questions I ask somebody when I am coaching them. I ask them, what book are you currently reading? Not, are you reading a book? Because I want to rise them up to the expectation that leaders are readers. And so even if they're not, they're going to go find a book, read a page, and then come tell me what book they're reading. Getting them to do the actions. I ask them what are their biggest strengths as a leader, because I really want people to focus on the good about them. I want them to focus on their strengths and know that those things can help their Plexus business, even if their strengths are different than mine. I want them to identify those, be proud of those, walk in those. Third question, what are your daily, weekly, and monthly tasks you do for your business? I want people to literally write out what they're doing, or literally become aware, because people will come to me all the time and say, I'm working my business so hard. And then I have them actually write down what they're doing. And another question is, how many hours a day and week are you spending on your business? Because if people actually will track those, the people that say, I'm working so hard, maybe working 1 hour a day or 1 hour a couple days a week. And really, if your dream is to have a 6-figure income, you legitimately you can't only work 4 hours a week. Can't. So let's bring some awareness. Good leaders ask good questions. So these are questions for them to help bring about awareness. The next question is, this will help if people will be honest about this question. What are you avoiding or resisting? Okay. And I put in parentheses, I'll copy and paste all these to you guys. Actually, just let me copy and paste them right now, and you can put them in the notes so you guys don't have to worry about trying to remember all this right now. Sorry. Okay, Megan can copy and paste that. Okay, because if people are really honestly honest about what they are avoiding or resisting, they can almost always tell me why they are unstuck. And I think that works better than us just like telling people what to do or telling people what we think is wrong. If self-evaluation and self-awareness is one of the most powerful tools of change. To have somebody be quiet with themselves and evaluate what truly is going on. Like, it is amazing what people will come up with. Like, they may be avoiding something in their marriage, or they may have equated success to, maybe when my dad became more successful, my parents got a divorce when I was a child, whatever they're subconsciously holding on to, some fear, they've attached some meaning to the reason they aren't doing something. So we have to get to the root of that meaning and dismantle that lie and cover that with truth. And that will help people get unstuck, because people may be going, white knuckling their life and their business and hustling. But if there is some huge fear or subconscious belief or chains that they won't sit still long enough to even explore, then they're just going to keep spinning their wheels, and that leads to burnout. And we don't want anybody to burn out, because what we do is super important and super purposeful and makes a really big impact. And so we need to be good stewards of being healthy in our awareness of what's truly going on. So, and then another question I ask is, what is your morning and evening routine? And I write, the most successful people I know have an intentional and consistent disciplined routines. Okay, I am good and bad about these. I go in seasons of these, but I can definitely tell a difference in the peace of my heart and home when I am operating in disciplined routines and when I'm not. Okay, the discipline equals freedom. So many people think that discipline's going to restrain them, and that's rules and regulations. Discipline leads to freedom. When we are intentional about our time, that leads to being able to do the more things we really love and enjoy and are the most important to us. So the most successful people that I know have weird routines. They like get up really early, and like Megan goes and runs, or some people at this retreat I was at, she gave us this mapped out our mornings, and she calls it a live out loud morning, and she encourages us to wake up 1 hour earlier than we usually do. Let me find it real quick. And she told us what she does, which is so fascinating. And she splits it up into 15 minutes, 30 minutes, and 15 minutes. Here we go. And what she does is this is just an example. You can do whatever you want. But she does 15 minutes of like body movement. She will like stretch or do something to get the blood flowing. She will either have worship music on, or just something that's like, if you're a cup of coffee, cup of hot tea, just do something to let your body wake up a little bit. Be kind to your body, maybe a little bit slower. And then she does 30 minutes of nourishing her mind with positivity. So that will either be scripture reading or listening to a podcast or doing some personal growth reading. And then she does 15 minutes of just setting your day. Okay. Figuring out, these are the most important things I need to do today. I need to spend some intentional time with my husband and my kids. Here's when I'm going to do it. Just being intentional about your day. Okay. That little part of the day, I like to do that part of the day the night before. Before I go to bed, I like to look at my next day and see, what are my big rocks? That's what I like to call it. The three big things I need to accomplish tomorrow to get stuff done. And pro tip, do the thing that you want to do the least first. Because I see this happen a lot. I will have people come to me, like say their child goes to preschool 2 days a week. And so their child will be at preschool for 4 hours, and they'll come back and say, Jessica, I got so much done off my list, like do. But I ran out of time before I got to reach out to new people. And I was like, sister, that is the thing that is going to move the needle in your business. All the other things were busy things. Yes, they were good. Yes, posting on your team page is good. But if you're avoiding and not doing the one thing that's going to grow your personal business, you're avoiding and resisting the scary thing, which is what I talked about, is what got me to Diamond. Okay, so pro tip, do the thing you're resisting the most first, get her done, you're going to feel accomplished, and then move about the rest of your day. Okay, so, and then I have them do a goals exercise on the accountability. We went over this in this class, and I'll have this on this worksheet as well. But I help people know and have a plan, okay? A simple way that I did this is that 6 months from now is April 30th. Okay, so November, December, January, February, March, April. What rank you are on April 30th is what will be on your name tag at convention. And if you're not registered for Nashville's convention yet, go do that right after this call. So I think a great goals exercise is to evaluate where you want to be in 6 months. So what rank do you want to be at convention? And so I help them go backwards. I say, okay, great. If you want to be Ruby by April 30th, on this goals exercise, I literally have a piece of paper and I have them write backwards. So I will have them write, 6 months from now. So April, March, February, January, December, November. Okay. So if we're going to be Ruby in April, we've got to kind of work backwards. And so for 6 months from now, we're going to have 500 points and be Ruby. Where do we need to be 3 months from now? So where do we need to be at the end of January to kind of get us kind of halfway to that mark? And where do we need to be getting by at the end of November? So even if it's not a rank, I know sometimes people get overwhelmed and think, well, I'm kind of in between ranks, so I'm not even going to make a goal. No. If you're between gold and senior gold, that's 100 points and 250 points. Let's make it a goal for when we're going to get to about 175 points. Okay, do some halfway points. Give yourself some points goals. So you're always becoming aware of those, because points equal people. I don't even like to look at it as points necessarily. I look at it as how many new people do we need on our team. And I'm going to do a whole separate sales training very soon, because the truth is, this is sales, but it's sales with integrity. Like we have to stop shying away from this, I'm not a salesperson. No, you are a salesperson. You're just not an icky salesperson with no integrity. You are a person in line with your integrity who makes an impact and changes lives. Because the truth is, you may have the best of intentions. You may want to help so many people. You may be posting every day. You may be even reaching out multiple times a week. But if you're not helping close, if you're not helping them get started, you're not changing their life. It's just like a goal is a wish without an action. Like your intention to help somebody isn't helping them unless they get started. So we have to learn some skills on how to do sales with integrity so we can change more lives. Stay tuned for that. Okay. So that's kind of how I do a coaching call. I'll give you this worksheet, but then I'll end a coaching call with somebody on your teammate, because remember, all these are questions you've asked them. So they're asking the questions for themselves. Yes, you can help guide, like especially on the goals exercise. I feel sorry if I've told you guys, I'm going to tell you this story real quick. For example, Ryan Evans, I had her do this goals exercise. I do this one-on-one. If I just write it on my team page, maybe one person does it, but it's having these one-on-one conversations which really make the difference. But she did the goals exercise, and her 1-year goal was to be silver. Okay, so this is also why this is so important, because Ryan Evans didn't understand the compensation plan. And I would not have known that unless she did this exercise. So when she did this exercise, I could see she doesn't understand. And so I was able to have a conversation and say, Ryan, you could be silver this week and emerald in a year. And we sat down and we talked about it. And that's exactly what happened. She went emerald that week, or excuse me, silver that week and emerald within a year. Okay, so they just may not know. Or your brand new person who's like not even doing anything says, I want to be diamond by April. That's just not realistic based on their actions. And so you also need to not let them do that. Because if you're just like, oh yeah, shoot for the stars, good luck. That's also not being a good leader or helping them. Being a good leader is nudging them a little bit farther than they think they can go, but also making sure they understand and are being realistic. Now, if they can write down on paper how many people every single month and how they're going to go diamond by April, great. Let them and hold them accountable to it. But the beautiful thing is when they do this sheet, they're giving you permission to hold them accountable to that. They're giving you permission to say, so it's not just you being like trying to push them to emerald. No, if they wrote down they want to be emerald, then you have the permission not to say, you're not following up to what you promised. Nobody needs a mom, but you have the authority to say, look, I saw that you have these big dreams to be emerald and I want to help you get there. And if you notice they're not doing the activity, you can say things like, okay, we had an action plan and I've noticed that's not following through. So let's talk. What's holding you back? What's keeping you from going for this? Because you really got to get to the bottom of it. So, okay. Didn't expect to go on a tangent about coaching, but I think there were some really good nuggets in there because I want to rise you guys up as leaders. You know, Megan's not your leader, the leader of your team. Kira's not the leader of your team. You're the leader of your team. So we want to empower and equip you to have the skills to help your people. So, okay, some other questions were, how do you cultivate like a team spirit and retention? And to that, I would say people are dying for a place to belong. And so that I am a big advocate of creating community. And Megan, you do a great job of that with your retreats and things along those lines, getting people together. And that's hard when you don't live close. And so some other tips for you to cultivate community within your team is definitely you guys be super, super involved on Megan's team page and on your team pages. Like the leaders need to be the ones that are liking and commenting and posting on those pages the most. Also for team spirit is for you to rise up other leaders. So if you have somebody on your team that's an excellent poster, go compliment on that and then ask them to share their really good post on your team page. If someone is really good at product knowledge, say you've got like, I don't know, a PA or somebody in the medical field and they're like totally geeking out over the ingredients of collagen, have them do a video on your team page or a post and explain it. People are looking at you and thinking, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm never going to be able to do this because I'm not as good as she is. Okay. That's what they're thinking. So you have to point out and rise them up in the things that they are good at. And that creates a team culture because I'm not the best at like encouragement or some of those things aren't my natural gifting and talent. So I need those gifts on my team page. I need more of that on my team page. And so it's like the body of Christ. It's the 4 color personalities. We need all of them together. And so I just really wanted to encourage you to really make people feel special, even if they may be bad. They may be bad at places. But let's just be honest. Let's find something that we can encourage and praise them for and let them be the expert in that area. Okay, because once you rise them up and have them do that scary thing, that is going to breathe so much life into them. So, also a big part of leadership, you guys, I'm pretty passionate about this. I believe this with my whole heart. Who we are is how we lead. I am not the best public speaker per se, as far as like poise and my voice not shaking and my knees not shattering and all that stuff. But I've got heart. And that is what matters. People come up to me and they say, there's a depth about you. There's a peace about you. Like, I noticed there's not a lot of drama on your team. Like they say things like this, like there's not a bunch of ship jumpers or just like bad negative stuff going on your team. And I believe that's because who you are is how you lead. I am not drama filled. I am not shallow. I have some depth to me because of pain I've gone through, therapy and life coaching I've done. But I believe who we are is how we lead. And that's so important. My personal growth is so vital for leadership because I see this on certain teams. If the leader is like full of anxiety, full of drama, full of negativity, their team is too. If a leader is full of fear, avoiding the things they need to do, their team's not going to do the things that they need to do. Okay? Who we are is how we lead. And I know that you guys are one impressive bunch. So I'm so proud of how you guys are leading, of who you are, of who you're becoming, and how you're making that a priority for your entire life. Because that is leadership, my friends. Okay. So I'm going to challenge you, give you a couple homeworks and challenges, and then we can talk a little bit, okay? Here's the challenges I gave to the people in my room that came to the training at convention. So I'm going, if you were there or not, I want you to do these things. Ready? Okay. These may be things you're regularly doing. This may be things that you're not. But you doing these things, I also believe that once we do a scary thing, we have authority to speak into other people's lives about that. Okay. For example, the first thing is you make a training video. Again, this may be something you do all the time. It may not be something you've ever done before, but you make a training video. You are an expert on, and don't get caught up in the word expert. I'm about to do a podcast on public speaking, and I in no way feel like an expert. Like my inside is like my 17-year-old self who was so terrified of public speaking. But the truth is, I've done it multiple times, and I've gotten better as I've done it. And so you have something in your life that are in this business that you've done a couple times, and you're learning to get better at, and that is a teachable thing you can teach your teams. Okay? And I really encourage you to challenge your teams to do this. I really like sometimes, I just want to remind you, don't only reward people who enroll. Also intentionally reward people that are going to do the activities that are going to get the results. So for an example, like that Ryan Evans exercise, a long time ago, I did the goals exercise of whoever turns in their goals, I'll draw up for a $25 gift card winner. Okay, well, only one person did it. But when I went to and had one-on-one conversations, it was like, hey, Ryan, I want you to win this gift card. Let's work on these goals together. Or da-da-da-da-da. I did that individually, and it got a whole lot more people to do this activity. So maybe you do a training video, and then you do a contest on your team for everybody who does a training video, and reward them for the activities. Because a leader nudges people to do scary things. Because they have got to be successful in this business, they have got to get out of their comfort zone. And it is scary at first, and it may be scary every time, but it gets a little bit less scary each time. So make a training video. Please don't make it 2 hours long. It can literally be 3 to 10 minutes. Okay? Just something to get you in the habit and routine of leading others in some way. And it doesn't have to be some huge like leadership concept. It can be something super simple like the sign-up process, or making your first post, or how to add your teammates to the team page. Anything. And I want you to post it either on your team page or your upline's team page or message thread, or talk to Megan about the best avenue for you to utilize that. I want you to print out the accountability sheet these questions and do it with somebody on your team. Somebody who's working on your team, kind of go through those questions with them and and Megan may have a different way to do this if I'm steering them in correctly. Okay. But start working on this leadership muscle. And all this really is just helping somebody get what they want out of life. Okay. They've joined your team. They're working their business. They have goals and dreams. The leader helps them get on the path to getting what they want. And then the last thing is the 2020 worksheet. I had everybody do this 2020 vision worksheet. I can post the link for that in the comments as well. This gave people a true vision of who they are. I talked about at convention, I have a really pretty sheet you can print out, I'll put the link here, but you can do this on a piece of paper, I don't care. But I had them write 20 reasons why they are amazing and awesome and why what they're doing in this business matters. Because it's so easy for us to think, I'm not good enough. I know I shouldn't have done this. I'm too shy. I'm not good at social media, whatever. But I want you to focus on these 20 things, your giftings, why what you do matters. Maybe you can even put specific people down that you've been able to help already. Just something to remind your brain of that you're awesome. Like, let's stop shying away from the fact that we're awesome. Humility isn't thinking less of yourself. It's just thinking about yourself less. Okay. You have to know who you are and your giftings and your talents, because that is God living inside of you. Okay. So 20 of that. And then I also had them write a list of 20 reasons why money is good and awesome and the freedoms and options it can provide you, your family, and others. Okay. I am very passionate about not victimizing wealth. If we shy away from making more money, only the bad people in the world are going to do all these bad, horrible things with all the money, and all these good Christians are just going to be like, no, make more money, do more good with it. Okay, so I want you to make a list of the things you want to do that is good, that are fun, that provides options, that helps other people. Okay, so all this is in a worksheet. I'm going to give you the link right now, but that's what I want you to do. Like a training video, do accountability with at least one person, and do this 2020 sheet. And that's all I got. So let me send you this link, but does anybody have questions? Let's hang out for a few minutes while I find this link.
Don't be shy. Linda, do you have a question? I know Hannah submitted her questions beforehand. Molly, you might have a question or two. You just got to be with Jessica a bunch the past couple days.
Molly a bunch. It was awesome. Okay, I just sent that on. Can you put that?
Oh,
thread? I just sent that.
Yep.
Okay.
Linda unmuted. Did you have a question?
No, I said I do not really have anything.
Okay.
Just taking in all the good info.
Yay! Molly just finished Miracle Morning. Okay, Molly, I would love to hear if you're willing to share. Like, did you currently have like an intentional morning routine? And if yes, then tell us that. If no, totally fine. What are some things you're going to be incorporating now into a morning routine after reading Miracle Morning?
So that book was amazing, very, very good. I had all of my kids read it because it just had such great practical tips. My morning season is always kind of wonky depending on if I have a nursing baby or not. But Rosie has recently started sleeping in the morning. So yes, I have a very strict schedule of what time I get up, who does what, who's doing what with the baby. And to get the morning off right. Megan had her Fall Fest event, and I brought my schedule and kind of shared it with everybody because I have things time blocked by half-hour increments. My question to you is, I've done a lot of these one-on-one accountability calls with people on my team, and if someone or if a person would maybe come back and either one, not be either honest with themselves or self-aware enough to be able to name any specific things they are avoiding or things like that. Basically, if the whole call goes, oh no, I'm fine, I'm not avoiding anything, I don't have any big goals, would you just mentally make a note like that person's just not really ready to run, is not really...
Okay. I think, well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I noticed something in the conversation. You said, I'm not avoiding, I don't really have any goals. I think that if they don't have goals, then you can't help them be self-aware. Like, some people really don't want to do this business. Or, but I think the difference is if they're saying, I'd really love to cover the cost of my products, or I'd really love to make $500 a month, then you have the permission, I believe, to really ask them the hard questions, which is hard because some people you think that would do really amazing at this business, they don't yet. And so when they're like, no, I'm just busy, I don't really want anything. If they're not telling you they want something out of this, then we really, unfortunately, don't have the permission. But I think that we really can still speak life into them. And sometimes by telling stories, they can connect to things, like maybe a story of you or somebody else that was like, you can say, this person was terrified to start. Or you can tell them my story. I literally told Tamara, I do not think that I know 3 people who would ever want to do this with me. Like, it's laughable now, but I legitimately felt that way. When I saw that Silver was getting 3 level 1s, in my head, that my doubt was real. And I was like, I don't think 3 people would ever want to do this. And so they feel alone. We talked a lot about this in my room, is helping those people not feel alone, the beginning people. But on another note, Molly, if someone has given you a goal and another thing I've had to learn as a leader is being okay with uncomfortable silence. Case in point. Okay. So, but like if you're on a phone call or a Zoom with somebody and you ask them this question, like, what are you avoiding or resisting? It's so easy. My life coach, he doesn't let me, like, if you say, I don't know, he doesn't let you say, I don't know. He always says, you're actually not allowed to say, I don't know, because I don't know is just something that people say when they are avoiding really looking at what's going on. And so, like, you have to be okay with asking the question and really having somebody explore it, or being okay by being silent while they think, or if they give you some surface level answer, asking another question to dive a little bit deeper. Like they may say, oh, I'm just scared. And then you say, okay, scared of what? And they're like, what my sister's going to think about me. And then you can say, well, what would your sister think about you? Like, get to the real root of what really is going to happen if their fear plays out. Because most of the time their fear is not going to play out, or it's really not as powerful as we're giving it false power over. Anyway, so that's a person by person basis. There's not like one size fits all for coaching. Does that help a little bit? Okay.
Good questions. I mean, just even the awareness to continue to ask questions after they give a response is really not acceptable.
Yeah, and being okay to nudge them that way, because it could be an uncomfortable conversation. My senior Ruby and really good friend Amber Emberson, I said this in my convention speech. Like, she always says, what did she say? She's like, I always hate conversations with you, but they always make me a better person. Because I ask her the hard questions. Like, I don't let her avoid. Okay, if someone is not growing in their business, there is something they are avoiding, or there is something else deeper going on. It just is. If they appear to be doing the things, you ask them these questions, you're going to find out that they actually aren't working that much, or the activities that they are doing aren't going to move the needle in their business, or they're avoiding doing something that's scary, like making a live video, or reaching out to scary people, or coaching their level 1s. I'm going to show you my morning routine. In an ideal day, I am not perfect in this, and I actually have been working through some head trash on this. I've recently discovered that my whole life I have not woken up early. Like, I've resisted it, I've fought it, I've hated it, I've always kind of been lazy. But I have had the revelation that I actually was equating if I was to actually intentionally wake up early every day, that would be playing it big. And it was just safer for me to play small, which I know may sound silly to you because I am a diamond. But there's still more. I still have more to my capacity that I am shying away from. Because if you sleep in, you don't have to do more. You can just kind of I had the privilege of being in a room with Christine Kane and just 15 other women And one thing she's like this amazing evangelist, difference maker. She has huge and women in the world. Story of like she TV very well, YouTube videos on her, lots of things. And she was telling the story of she legitimately could just coast and nobody would know because there's enough like old things she's done or quotes of things she's said or she's been highly successful. She said nobody would know. For years she could just stay in the backseat and nobody would know. She said, but I would know and God would know. And I know that he has called me to more, and he has called me not just to drift, but to keep pressing forward. And that was really encouraging to me, that we are called to press forward. If we have the resources and the influence, then there is a calling on our life for good. So, okay, so I've changed my saying to winners wake up early, because I like to focus on the positive quality instead of the bad quality. So instead of saying like losers or lazy, that focuses on the word loser and that focuses on the word lazy. Let's say winners wake up early. Okay. And also consistent. I have another one. One time I was so excited. I told my life coach, I was like, I heard this today and I'm going to put it on my wall and see it every day. And the saying was, mediocre average people are inconsistent. And I was like so excited about it because I was like, I don't want to be mediocre. I don't want to be inconsistent. And he goes, how about we twist that a little bit? Let's focus on the power words instead. So instead of saying average people are inconsistent, he switched it to powerful people are consistent. So my new phrases are powerful people are consistent and winners wake up early. All right. So confront comfort. Ooh, good one. Okay. So in an ideal, I'm going to tell you my ideal, when I do this consistently, it makes a difference. My morning ritual consists of 30 minutes where I do not look at my phone until these things are done. And that would be drinking a large glass of water and taking supplements. Plexus, of course. But actually a lot of water first thing in the morning actually helps flush your liver and your organs, and you get dehydrated overnight. And so you can drink a lot of water first thing and you don't have to pee because your body needed it. So, okay, taking a large glass of water, meditating on some sort of scripture, like reading some sort of scripture, and then writing my gratitudes and intentions. I like the Start Today journal, Rachel Hollis, and then reviewing my big 3 things for the day that I need to get done. So that can take about 30 minutes. And when I do that, oh my goodness, I start the day with the right mindset. I start the day with intentions. I get stuff done and I'm a happier person. And then this is really great. It's pretty intense, but it's Michael Hyatt's Full Focus Planner. Like it lets you put your ideal morning routine, an ideal start of your workday, an ideal end of your workday, an ideal evening ritual. But I'm also going to challenge you to do a morning ritual and an evening ritual, because here's what happens when I'm not intentional. The kids just watch TV. We eat dinner in the living room. This is what happens in the evenings when I'm not intentional. The kids go to bed, and then me and my husband just scroll our phones for hours, and then we go to bed at midnight. Okay? What got done? Like literally, you looking like, I just literally wasted 4 hours of my life. Like my kids go to bed at like 8 and then we're going to bed at midnight. And what did we do? 4 hours. That's a lot of time. Okay. So when I do this, life is better. This is my evening ritual that if I do this, life goes much better. Family dinner at the table from 6 to 7. This is not law. This is not rigid. It can be flexible, but that's like sitting at the table, talking about things we're grateful for, talking about our day at school, having those intentional conversations. And then from no TV, directly from around 7 to 8, pack their lunches for the next day, read with them, actually have them brush their teeth, actually have them pick up the toys so I don't have to do it, and have some good snuggle time getting them into bed, okay, from 7 to 8. For me, because when I live my ideal days, I can put my phone away when my kids get home from school. So in an ideal day, my phone can be away from 3:30 until 8, and I would check my phone just from 8 to 8:30, being really disciplined, but answering any messages, getting any texts that need to. But then from 8:30 to 10:30, reading and having intentional time with my husband. Like, you can knock out those pile of 20 self-development books you've been wanting to read one chunk at a time. So when I do that, my life is better. Just an example for you guys. I I honestly believe you can have anything you want in life if you are intentional and consistent. Anything. If you want to run a marathon and you cannot even run 1 mile right now, if you are intentional and you are consistent, you will one day run a marathon. It's the slight edge. It's just true. If your marriage is hard right now, if you're intentional and consistent with it daily, over time, your marriage will get better. If your business is slow right now, if you evaluate yourself through these questions and you're more intentional and you're consistent, your business will grow.
Mic drop. That was awesome.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Alrighty. That was awesome, Jessica. Thank you so much.
I'm glad it was helpful. Excited for the rest of them to get to watch it. And I'm really proud of you guys. You're the difference maker. You're the culture shifters. You are leading the way. And I will see you. Come see me. If you see me in Nashville, come say hi. Let's get a picture. Yep.
That's awesome. Alrighty. There we have it. Thank you, Jessica. Thanks, girls, for coming. I'll get the recording up. Bye, girls.